Art's Essential, an examination of art's impact on our society, hosted by Holly Wagner. Art's essential to communicate, to give a voice, to help heal, for a sense of self, for a sense of community, to impact our society. Art's essential to the human existence. Sponsored by the McMinnville Center for the Arts and the Arts Alliance of Yamhill County. Hello and welcome to Art's Essential. Thank you for joining us. Our show will examine the influence of art in our society, and we will talk to people that help to make it happen. I'm your host, Holly Wagner, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Kris Horn. Kris, I'm going to sort of do a little background montage for you because I did all this research on you. So Kris is a real estate broker for Coldwell Banker and has been Business Person of the Year. She's on the board of directors for Chehalem Cultural Center and the Newburgh Downtown Association. She's the co-chair of the Willamette Valley Lavender Festival and Plein Air Art Show. She's the director of the Board of Arts Alliance of Yamhill County, which is how I met Kris. And she's a mother and a grandmother, and she's an artist. And wow, you love dogs, mystery novels.
All of the above.
Well, I thought
You've worn me out.
Well, I thought what we would do first is I thought we would talk about your own art and kind of talk about you and what you do with your art and talk about your mediums and how you got into it. So why don't you just tell us first, what you...
I actually have done some little bits and pieces of art from my whole life. From the time I was quite young, I drew a little bit, and my life has gone in fits and starts, like so many people, and I'll have periods of time that I'm not doing art,
Right.
And I went about 30 years without doing any art, and just started about 5 years ago again, just stepping in gently. And I took a class in Portland in pastel, and just fell in love with it. And it's very immediate, and the color is terrific, and it just ticked all of my...
It's gratifying,
It's
isn't
very
it?
gratifying.
Yeah, there's a gratifying aspect.
So I have been doing soft pastel for the last 3 or 4 years.
That's great. That's wonderful. And I noticed that you really have a flair for doing landscapes and doing still life, just from what I saw online and just doing some research.
We have so much beautiful material to work with for
We
landscape.
do.
We're so fortunate in this area, and I've done a lot of plein air,
Yeah.
but I also work in the studio too.
That's great. So, I saw that you haven't shown in a while. You've been busy. You've had a lot of stuff going on. You have your plate obviously quite full with family and with all of your community activities, which is plentiful. And I saw that you did show. You have shown your art before, and do you have plans to do it again?
Yes, I will have a show this spring in a group show with 3 other pastel artists at a gallery in Multnomah Village.
Oh, wonderful.
And I believe that one is in April. And I do show as I have time.
Sure. Is it true that you're with the Sketchy Artists too?
Yes, I was one of the originators of Sketchy Artist, and it's a wonderful, welcoming safe place for people who, at any level of artistic ability. We have people in there that have never drawn, painted, or anything, but they always secretly wanted to.
Right.
And we have people with art degrees. It happens every Friday morning at 9 o'clock at the Chehalem Cultural Center.
That's wonderful.
And it's just a warm, welcoming place for people to express themselves.
That's really great. I've seen, they come to the Mecca Gallery as well as and support each other, as we have people that might be in our gallery and such. And it's just quite a wonderful community, of these people coming together and being able to just feed off each other, be inspired by each other.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. So kind of talking about some of your community activities, the Newburgh Downtown Association.
Well, the Downtown Association, I was president of that actually for 10 years. Back when downtown Newburgh was just a lot of empty buildings, basically.
Yeah.
And there wasn't an organization. I asked somebody at the city, well, there's all these empty buildings. What are we going to do about it? And they said, I don't know. What are you going to do about it? So there you go. Nothing gets me going faster than to say, well, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, give you a challenge, you'll take it.
So I did about it for about 10 years. And then I've stepped back out of that. And from the Downtown Association, they developed what they call the Newburgh Downtown Coalition. That is the actual entity that is working on downtown revitalization in Newburgh.
All right. And so they're the ones who helped to sponsor the first on, what is it called?
That actually, the
Art Walk.
The Art Walk.
Yeah.
Newburgh First Friday Art Walk has been happening for about 16 years.
Oh, okay.
And Sally Dallas and I started it. We had said, boy, that would be a good thing to do.
Right. Right.
But there was just one gallery in town. That was her gallery, and there just wasn't there wasn't enough to glue it together.
Sure.
We knew that. And someone who has become a dear friend of ours opened another frame shop there.
Yep.
And he was going to have art. And then Gary Bueller opened his little gallery, and we said 3, that's good. That'll do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And off we went.
And now you have Art Elements, and
We have
some of the wine tasting rooms.
We have many wine tasting rooms, and part of the downtown participants are not, they're doing. They may not show art.
Right.
They may have wine. They may not. They may have music. It's pretty loose.
Yeah.
But there's still a solid core of people that have new artists every month, that have, we have wineries coming and going and doing wine tasting, and it's still a very active art event.
Absolutely. I mean, I see it's very vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a couple of artists that I've known that have shown down there and actually have been quite successful in showing down there, in Newburgh on that, during that event, and having openings during that event is a nice coup to get that space, to be able to do that.
The whole idea of it was to draw people into the downtown.
Right.
When we didn't have any way to draw people to the downtown, and it worked.
Right.
My husband and I had a little store in downtown Newburgh, the Soapy Bear, and
Great name.
his name is Barry, and his nickname is Bear, and he is the soap maker. So
Oh, that's awesome.
it's all about My husband. And we had our little business in downtown Newburgh for 3 years before the economy kind of tanked.
Did its thing.
Yeah, it did its thing, worked its magic. And Art Walk was so much fun.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
great.
so much fun.
That's great. Well, remind me, it's the first
It's the first
Friday
Friday
of every
each-
month.
Of every month.
Okay.
At January, we take January off every year.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, definitely make it down there if you can. So let's move into talking a little bit about the Chehalem Cultural Center. I just, I participated in the Fire Writers yesterday, which will lead us to other conversations at the Art Alliance. But let's talk about your involvement with the Cultural Center and how you got involved with the Cultural Center and such.
I actually got involved with the Cultural Center through my activities trying to revitalize the downtown. The Cultural Center used to be Central School, and it had, I always looked at that location and that building as kind of the crown of our downtown. Trust me, when I started, it was not a pretty crown.
Understood.
It was more of an eyesore and a derelict building that the school district couldn't afford to bring up to standards for to have children in. And then the earthquake happened, and that caused a little more damage, and the park district bought the building for $1. It was the most expensive dollar that our park district has ever spent.
Wow.
And
Just because of the investment that they had to put in after the fact?
well, yes,
Yeah.
it was quite an undertaking, but
Sure.
we had a vision that it pretty much exactly what it is.
It's beautiful.
There were several of us that had dreamed of what it could be, and we saw it as a place for people to gather and support each other in all sorts of cultural activities, and multi-generational, all different artistic activities, and it was not a quick and easy thing, I might add.
Yeah.
I've worked on it for 20 years.
Wow. Well, I just read the article that just came out in the Oregon Art Watch that talked to the directors, Sean and, sorry, I'm forgetting her name. But anyway,
Krissa, yeah.
Krissa, thank you. Yes, Krissa, in their 20 interviews in 2020. It was pretty impressive, just the conversations that they were having about how much they've grown and how much it's expanded, and that really they spent most of the time as it's been running to sort of become known in the community. And now they're really having an opportunity to expand their programs. And it's really wonderful what they've been doing. I mean, just all over the board, from cultural events to out there art exhibits and all of that kind of stuff. It's beautiful. The vision has come to fruition.
You're absolutely,
Fruition.
yes, absolutely. And even sketchy artists seems like such a small thing, but Lonnie Parrish and I talked as we were working on this project over the years. We talked about doing exactly what sketchy artist has become,
Right.
and how we were going to do it, and that it would be, it'd be a place once a week for people to gather and create and expand their knowledge, and it's done everything that we had hoped for. So
That's wonderful.
It really is a dream come true.
So, this is where the rubber meets the road when it comes to art's impact on society, right? And
absolutely.
how we put ourselves out there, and how you put yourself out there in the beginning and kind of took this journey that led to what other people are running with, but some of your foresight, some of your vision helped to lead the way to some amazing things that are happening now in the art community in Newburgh, for the county, for the valley. And so you should pat yourself on the back to being participating in that, and helping to drive that vision.
It does make me feel good. I pinch myself every day. I live a half a block from the cultural center.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's great.
So that was another motivation for me. It was literally in my backyard.
Right.
And I have to say that as the Rotary was building that wonderful playground on the east end of the building there, and they had the wonderful big concrete animals and a little climbing wall, and being a grandma, I looked out on that and said, yeah, I'm going to be the most popular grandma.
Nice. That's awesome.
And I did. In fact, I called my daughter-in-law in Eugene, and I said, just wait.
Nice.
Wait till the kids see what I have.
Well, and then like what we saw yesterday with the fire writers.
Oh,
right? The fire
isn't
writers.
that
If
amazing?
people don't know what the fire writers event was, yesterday, our Alliance sponsored an event that was completely run. I mean, of course, by volunteers and everything, but Deb Weiner was responsible for coordinating and putting all of that together, and we had like about 125 students from around Yamhill County, high school students, who came out and spent the day being inspired and writing. It was, Sean said it the best. Everything, start writing garbage, and a little gem will come from that. It was a wonderful event, and I was so inspired by it. And you were there in the afternoon. We missed each other, but you were there in the afternoon and got to see.
It is inspiring.
Unbelievable.
And it really, really reminds you how many talented young people we have in our schools.
Yeah.
And with that little spark of passion for writing, and the whole goal of this was to give them a day of learning and of growing in that.
Yeah, inspiration and permission
Absolute.
to make mistakes, and there was no right answers. I mean, it was like the message that was being given to them. I think I would have loved something like that when I was a teenager.
Oh, so would
I
I.
mean, seriously, didn't
Absolutely.
happen. But it's happening here in our county, and so we're really lucky to be able to help to spark those kind of things.
Absolutely.
And really that leads into the AAYC, the Arts Alliance of Yamhill County, which sponsors this show. I have just newly become a board member.
And thank you.
Thank you. I'm very excited and happy to participate in that. It's an amazing organization, and you guys have been running on a shoestring, a shoestring board, and our director, Mike Santenay, who is also he's in the booth back there behind the cameras, but he's been helping you guys since he joined to bring in some new people into the board and sort of help not place all the responsibilities on the shoulders of just you had 3 or 4. It was you.
We actually
5.
We had 5. We'd had 6, and we lost 1 member.
Okay.
And so.
But you had Edwina from the Tap and Ballet, and you have Sally and.
And it takes more people to really
It does.
cover everything.
Right. There's just so much that could be done and has been done and is being done. I mean, I'm kind of like, you guys have done so much, even being on a shoestring board, by having the oldest open studio tour in Oregon, by having, with our Art Harvest Studio Tour, you guys have the paper gardens, you helped to sponsor the Willamette Valley Lavender Festival,
right.
plein air art, what else? I'm trying to think. So now, and then of course the Paper Gardens event that's happening in February, and as well as the fire starters. I keep
Firefighters.
saying fire starters because they talked about. Okay, so she talked about yesterday in the opening about how this was to help gather kindling to build a fire. Anyway, so the
You got
event,
it. You
that's
got
what
it.
she said. So I keep thinking fire starters now. Anyway, fire writers. But all of this stuff you guys have been doing on a shoestring board. And I say that because 6 people is not enough to do all the things that need to happen, from membership drives to running the events to making sure content is created. I mean, you guys have done an amazing job. And so I'm going to be quiet now and ask you what you think about the fact that this new people are coming into the group. And
Oh, I think it's wonderful to have new people that they'll bring new ideas and help grow the programs that we already have, and maybe find vision for new things that we can do.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. You need to have a broad base of people working on to be successful, to be working on all of these things to bring them to the community.
Right. So we've added Courtney from the library. She's a librarian from the
Courtney Beam, yeah.
Yep.
And
then also myself
Mm-hmm.
from the Mecca Gallery, and then we just added someone else. Remind me. Oh, I put you on the spot. Sorry, I forgot.
Of course. So now
Val, who's a
Val
musician
Blunt, yeah.
and a
Yes.
teacher. That's
Music,
right.
yes.
Yeah, she does music teaching. It was on the tip of my tongue. So I mean, so we're kind of as well as Mike Centenay, who's with film. So we're sort of trying to make the board more round in the arts, the global
various
word of
medium
arts.
of the arts,
Right,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
Which is really also exciting because that does help us to open up the door to more programs.
Right.
So maybe tell me about the grant program that you did that you guys did in January with Courtney from the library.
We have had an education grant program that is available to teachers throughout Yamhill County, and in public and private schools, and we've had applicants from organizations that do education programming. We had 10 or 11 applicants this year, and every year I'm so impressed with what the type of programs or projects that the teachers apply for.
What
help
was your
with.
favorite? Can you say what your favorite was? That you guys
There were a couple that I was really responded to. There is a teacher in, I think a kindergarten teacher in Willamina that did an application for supplies, and she's putting together a group of several classes together to do a mural
right.
at the food pantry.
I thought that was fantastic. When I read them, I just was shocked, and I just loved this project.
Well,
and I'm so glad
because she really wanted it wasn't just the mural that she was focused on. She was focused on the kids learning about what the food pantry was
about, right, and why it's there, right,
how it supported the community,
right,
and how could they support the community in that way.
So I just realized that, wow, time went by really fast. This is really great. I mean, there's so much to talk about with you. I want to ask you really quick, what is your one word, one hope for the Art Alliance of Yamhill County for 2020?
To grow.
Awesome. I love it. That's fantastic. Kris, thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you for having me.
I really, really appreciate it. I knew you'd be an awesome, awesome guest. So thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a wonderful opportunity.
Thanks. So we are going to try and close our show every month, or however often we do it, with some really exciting information about calendar of events in the county. Art Elements is, of course, they do their First Friday Art Walk in Newburgh every month. We talked about that. I put websites here where I could. The Chehalem Cultural Center has a brand new open mic night that they're going to be doing every second Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. starting February 12th. This is really exciting. But also, as I mentioned earlier with Kris, that they also are going to, they've been adding an incredible lineup of both performing arts, the gallery, classes, even their culinary school. So really, I encourage you to go to the ChehalemCulturalCenter.org website. An amazing location and contributor to our community and our county. The gallery at 10 Oaks is doing tomorrow night, January 15th at 6 p.m. They're doing their open reception for the Yamhill County area high school artists. This is a phenomenal thing. You know, all of these different organizations in our county are trying to really produce the next generation of artists, and we really encourage you to participate. January 23rd, they're doing paintings to poems, and they have poetry every first Thursday of the month. Lawrence Gallery has updated their brand new website. Be sure to check that out. It's beautiful, and it's really excellent for finding all information about their exhibits and events. Obviously, at Mecca Gallery, we have the third Wednesday of every month. We have our open mic night. That will be tomorrow as well. And on the 22nd, we have our artist salon. This is a place for artists to come together and talk about activities and things that they're working on. This is for all artists in the county. Anyone is welcome to join, as well as we have an exciting, exciting event for an evening with Oregon Writers, the Easy Riders. They're going to be coming in and performing and reading their wonderful work, and it'll be filmed by our very own Caroline O'Brien, who'll be doing the literary filming. So I also want to mention other events that are around the town. Make sure there are still a few tickets left for the TEDx McMinnville, the TED Talk Under the Microscope. This is a really exciting thing for our county and helps to bring things in the down months of January, winter months when hardly anyone is here, and has some really wonderful information and speakers from around our area. As well as, and I should actually ask Mike if you would flip me back to the camera. I'm sorry I didn't tell you this part, but I'm going to put this sign up here. The 9th Annual McMinnville Short Film Festival, Linfield College, and the McMinnville Cinemas, which is really exciting. I want to make sure everyone knows about this. I have actually, as well as being on the board for the Arts Alliance, I'm also on the board for the Short Film Festival, and I want to make sure I get a really good plug out here for them. This is going to be incredibly exciting. There's 9 instead of, I think it used to be 6 categories. There are now 9 categories, and we have events all over town. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So I want to thank you all for joining us, and have a wonderful day.